Bianca is a second-year mechanical engineering student all the way from sunny KZN. Her hobbies include chilling with her buddies, and when she's not trying out new restaurants, you can bet your bottom dollar she's obsessing over designing all types of aircrafts, because aeronautical engineering is her greatest passion.
My name is Bianca Chinazo Ibeleme. I'm 19 years of age and I'm from Durban, KZN. What inspires me would definitely be my family and my parents. They're always backing me in whatever I do. And when I look at where my parents came from and where they are now, it really inspires me to make the most of my life and what I have at this moment in time. And I'm passionate about helping people and putting smiles on people's faces and being that light for people when they need it. My hobbies include going to different restaurants and trying out new food. I also enjoy physical activities like going to gym or hiking, and I enjoy chilling with my friends and spending time with them and catching up. My favorite modules in university would be mathematics and dynamics because I am a maths and physics orientated person, and I feel like I shine best in those departments. From a young age, I've always been passionate about aeronautics, and for me, I think it's the fascination of being part of the process of making something to fly and the dynamics that's involved in it. I'm hoping that 48 hours can give me a better understanding of what aeronautical engineering is about, and that I can see what an aeronautical engineer does on a day-to-day basis. Right now, I'm off to meet my mentor, Samuel, who is an aeronautical engineer. Come with me, you guys.
Samuel's inspiration to become an aeronautical engineer is thanks to Mark Shuttleworth's first trip into space. His main focus is designing aircraft with the main aim of enabling them to take flight. Let's get to know more about aeronautical engineering from Samuel.
Samuel, thank you so much for the opportunity of being here. My first question is, how did you get into aeronautics?
Cool. You're welcome, Bianca. So I started with the love of airplanes and aero design and space flight when I was a pretty young boy. So my mom took me one day to go see Mark Shuttleworth. So this was when he just got back from his space flight. So as the first African ever in space, I think the bug bit me and I started exploring the options of whether to become a pilot or into design, and I eventually fell in love with the design of airplanes and flying systems.
So Samuel, why are you passionate about aeronautics and aeronautical engineering?
I think I'm passionate about aeronautical engineering because it's a very innovative industry. It's a very exciting field. Many of the technologies that we use in our everyday lives today stemmed from either the defense industry or aeronautical applications.
Would you be able to tell me what exactly an aeronautical engineer does?
Sure. So we are basically principled about flight. So anything that flies, plans to fly, or anything that you need to get into space is our expertise.
As an aeronautical engineer, what are the day-to-day requirements of your job?
Okay, so I spend most of my days taking client requirements and making them into feasible designs. So I take them from conceptual aeronautical projects and I design the development and wind tunnel testing and flight testing schedules for them. And then after they're manufactured, tested and proved, they're then shipped to clients all over the world.
Samuel, thank you so much for answering all my questions. Now please may you show me some work experience.
Cool.
Coming up after the break, Bianca gets to put some of her engineering experience to the test when Samuel gives her a task to design an aircraft. Stay tuned for more after the break. Welcome back. Before the break, we met engineering student Bianca, who's passionate about aeronautical engineering. We teamed her up with aeronautic engineer Samuel, who designs aircraft for a living. You're just in time to get to learn more detail about this career, and Bianca gets her first task. Let's hope she aces it.
What I'm gonna go through now is basically a quick explanation of what is involved in getting something to fly. So I'm calling it the principles of flight. So basically you have four forces needed or that are involved in getting an aeroplane in the air. They are called lift, thrust, drag, and gravity. Lift is, I think, the most important one. Basically, it's what pulls the aircraft as it flies through the air up. It works by the pressure difference between the airplane wing, or the cross section is called an aerofoil. So you have a low pressure and a high pressure between the two surfaces, and that basically helps you get lift or rise up into the air. The aspect ratio is important. So what aspect ratio means is the chord to span of your wing. So if you have a high aspect ratio, it's usually thin and very, very long.
For work experience today, Sam took me through the wing and the aircraft design for UAVs. We looked at how the wing shape and the wing length can affect your lift and your drag, as well as your thrust. And we also took into account our weight ratios to see how that affected the range of our aircraft.
My first impression of Bianca when I met her this morning was that she's a very lovely person, very vibrant, very exciting. She also has a lovely smile, and she's very eager to learn a lot about the aero industry. So some of the stuff that I do every day is design UAVs, which are unmanned aerial vehicles, or commonly known as drones. So today we're going to try design from scratch a UAV capable of 500 kilometer range. Cool. Some of the things that we're going to look at in making sure we achieve that range is the lift calculations, so designing how much lift we're actually going to need from this UAV, the drag calculations in order to help us determine how efficient this UAV is going to be at getting to that 500 kilometers, the thrust requirements, that's basically the size of the engine or propeller, or the size of the power that we're going to need to power this UAV all the way to 500 Ks. And lastly, we're going to try draw, or you are going to try draw a 3D view of the aircraft. So give us a picture of what this would look like. So the first thing is basically the lift calculations. So earlier on today, we talked about the different types of wings. So in our case, we need a wing that's very thin and long, so a high aspect ratio wing, in order to be able to reach that 500 kilometers. So Bianca, you've just seen what it takes to design a UAV. So now your task is to design your own UAV, going through all the calculations, very important, the lift, the drag, and the thrust requirement, and also calculate the range of your UAV at the end of the task.
So for my task today, Sam had me do my own calculations from scratch. So calculating the lift, the drag, and my range. And then he got me to design my own UAV using the values that I had calculated. Doing the calculations wasn't a problem. I think my biggest problem was finding more the coefficients and the values that I needed to input in my calculations, and a lot of it was estimates, and after that I had to go back and recheck my calculation again to see if I need to make adjustments.
Hi Bianca, how are you doing?
I'm good. So I think I'm finally done with my calculations and my drawings.
Cool.
So this is the UAV that I designed, and these are my calculations. So you know how we spoke about the vortex,
yes,
right, and the wingtip vortex, right?
Yes.
So I decided to add that because my drag is actually quite low.
Nice.
Okay, so in order to achieve that, I thought I might add vortexes in both of like the front wings and the back wings.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Can you tell me more about how you did the lift?
Okay, so with my wings, I made my wings long enough and also thin enough so that I meet like the required lift to achieve my range that I wanted.
Nice. And how did you handle the weight ratio?
Yeah, so my weight ratio was 0.52, which means that there isn't much fuel involved.
To get to that distance?
Yeah.
Cool. And your 3D view looks really, really good. Excellent work, Bianca. High five.
Thank you so much.
So for your reward, we are now going to do some actual drone flying. So we have a multi-copter waiting for you upside that we are gonna try fly.
Okay, awesome.
After my task, Sam rewarded me with being able to fly a drone, and that experience was very easy. And it was interesting to see how the controls worked and how it was actually quite doable.
Maybe use one at a time, just take it up.
It was amazing, like I enjoyed the experience. I felt so powerful in the moment.
Her control was very stable, her throttle response was very accurate and precise, and I think if she wants to, she can go out and get her own drone pilot's license or eventually get her own commercial license to fly the bigger planes. Bianca, we wish you a lot of success and a lot of luck. You have a great future ahead of you. Just keep at it and keep showing the resilience and attitude that you have.
We have come to the end of my day one, and I am very excited and looking forward to my day two.
Coming up after the break, Bianca meets entrepreneur Joandre from Unique Drones and learns more about the business side of aeronautics. She also pitches a brilliant idea to him, which he's impressed by. Stay tuned for more after the break. Welcome back. Before the break, we met Bianca, who has an interest in aeronautical engineering. We introduced her to mentor Samuel, who showed her the ins and outs of working in this career. And just when we were about to introduce her to entrepreneur Joandre, who owns his own business called Unique Drones, a national lockdown was announced. But this was not going to stop this determined young lady from taking the next step in her career. She arranged a Zoom meeting with Joandre and also prepared a pitch to knock him off his socks.
My name is Joandre Forster from Unique Drones. Unique Drones specializes in drone security, drone surveying for the mines, and the drone hobby sector. So we supply photographers, we supply filmmakers, we supply the private sector in guys that are taking photos for weddings, photography, and for any general private use. I developed an interest in this career about 4 years ago in the drone sector. I bought my first drone, it was a Phantom 3, and crashed it many times. So from that day on, I decided, no, this is what I want to do. And I sent it in for repairs a couple of times, got it back, continued, and then started, basically just got the passion. The future of drones is very interesting. It's a new market, it's an explosive market. The future of drones is to transport medical equipment, water as it's about, and surveillance. You know, drones can be used for anything in the future. It's going to be used for deliveries, it's going to be used for facial recognition on people. It's the future of aerial surveillance.
While Bianca and Joandre log into the waiting room, 48 Hours went behind the scenes to give our candidate the lowdown on who she's about to meet. Let's hope this gives her a leg up with her pitch.
Hi Bianca, how are you?
Hi.
Good.
Good.
You're good. You're speaking to Joandre from Unique Drones. We're the company that specializes in drones and aviation drones, basically for all types of uses. So I hear you have a few questions for us, and I'd like to answer them to the best of our ability.
So the first thing that I wanted to know is what inspired you to start your own business?
Well, Bianca, it's quite a long story, but to put it short to you is the go for life for me. You know, I worked for a boss once. I was a waiter at one stage, and I worked for an incense shop selling incense. And I couldn't even read my own handwriting at one stage, so I lost the orders. By the time I got to the kitchen as well, I couldn't read that handwriting. So I thought, no, this is not for me. I need to run my own business.
What did you think you would be able to offer in this industry that would set you apart from the rest?
What I'd be able to offer is my knowledge. That will definitely set me apart from the rest, is my knowledge for drones and aviation. Because I can lead you into the right path to help you if you need information on what to do, where to go, and to do licensing for your aviation. So there's a lot of information I can offer which is free of charge.
What were the challenges of starting your own company?
The challenges were finding suppliers at first, sourcing out the equipment, funding, which came from nowhere at first. So funding is a big thing. So you start off small. I mean, you can't build an empire in one day. So I started off small, buying smaller drones, and you like a small profit on that. Take that money, put the profit into a separate account, take that profit, buy stock again. So you basically don't see any growth for the first year of the business. So there's a lot of struggles in the beginning, and then also you don't have your set work hours, you work 24 hours as an entrepreneur.
Did you have any fears when you were starting up your own company?
Of course, a fear of failure. A fear of failure, which I'm sure is normal for every human being. You know, a fear of embarrassment, a fear of walking out of, for some people, a fear of walking out of their job, their stable job. So there is a big risk taking to step out to start your own business. And then a fear that I might use all my funding to fund this business, and then the family doesn't have any money. So yes, there was a lot of fear starting this business, but it all pays off in the end if you keep trying and perseverance.
Now that Bianca knows more about entrepreneurship in this career, she wastes no time with pitching her idea to Juan Ray.
Okay, so Juan Ray, my pitch is, because coronavirus is such an ever-growing pandemic in this day and age, I was worried about rural areas and the fact that they don't have a readily available source of water. So my idea was to design a drone that would go and fetch water either from a river or a lake or wherever they get water from, and bring it back to the community so they can always maintain that personal hygiene that's needed in order to combat this coronavirus. So the drone will definitely work with a GPS, so it wouldn't have to be manually controlled in order to get to the lake. So we'll install a GPS into the drone and plug in the coordinates of wherever the water source will be. And then the drone will go off on its own and bring the water back to the community. And I was also wondering that it should probably be solar powered so that electricity is also out of the way. Because if it is going to be used in rural areas, it would make sense for it to be solar powered so that we don't have to worry about electricity and how the battery will be charged and all of those intricacies. Now I would like to share my screen to show you some of my designs. Okay, so for my design, I chose an octocopter because when one of the arms give out, I feel like it would be easier for the other arms to compensate for that. So the drone can continue flying while one of the arms is out of service, or if it's too windy, it would be easier for the drone to compensate for that, to ensure that the water gets to and from the lake safely.
Okay.
And then in order for it to be user-friendly, I wanted the blades to be closed off. So for safety purposes, if it's going to be used in communities, it would be a good idea for the blades not to be exposed, just for the purpose of making it more user-friendly.
Okay.
Yeah. So in this view, you can see the blades, how the blades will be closed off better. And I decided to put retractable legs on the drone. So the thing that I like about the drone is that it can come on its own. So basically, it will have a magnetic plate that will attach onto the plastic tank, right? And the plastic tank will also have a magnetic plate, and this magnetic plate can be switched on and off when the drone is busy taking the water to the community, or when the drone is just sitting on its own,
Okay.
So the legs will be out of the way when the drone is engaged with the water tank, and then it also has legs to stand on when it isn't engaged.
Okay, Bianca, I've heard your concept. I think it's a great idea. It can be done. First, I just want to talk about the solar power on the drone. The solar power won't be able to be done on the drone because the motors pull a high amperage for the weight you're carrying. I see at least the weight that you'll be carrying is 25 liters. If you look at your average 25 liter drum that a household uses, it will have to be charged batteries for the amperage, like I said, to the motors. So you could have a solar panel that will charge sets of batteries that's ready for the drone, and this gets plugged into the drone. Your retractable legs is a perfect idea, less wind reduction on the drone. So it's going to go smoother through the air. And then when the retractable legs come down, I would make pylons, floating pylons, that when the drone lands on the water, it floats. Keeps the blades away from the water and the mechanical devices, and then the bottom of the tank can open up with a light sensor, and that negative pressure can pull in the water into the tank. Once that tank is full, the timing GPS on that drone and the coordinates and the program that it will be programmed with can tell the drone to take off and return to its original home point. So, Bianca, the concept is possible. It's definitely possible.
Thank you so much, Andre. It's such a nice opportunity to get an expert's advice.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to take everything that you've said and implement it into my design.
No, it's 100% possible, believe me.
We've come to the end of a jam-packed 48 hours, but we'd like to do something that makes life just a wee bit better for Bianca.
So Bianca, from what I've heard, and your ambition and your go-getter personality to get this project going, us at Unique Drones have basically gifted you with a small drone to start practicing on. So you can start getting a little bit of flight experience and some practice. So we'll be sending you a drone that you can practice on as well, just to get your airmanship in place. So you must enjoy it.
Thank you so much. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I really appreciate that.
No problem, no problem. And then we would like some feedback from you when you got it and some videos of you flying it so we can see how you're doing, and I can coach you on how to actually properly fly it, okay?
No, definitely.
Okay,
Definitely.
good. I want to see the progress.
Thank you very much, Rodney, for giving me your time and giving me your expert advice. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the gift. I'm definitely going to be making use of it, especially during this lockdown period. I look forward to working with you in the future.
No, same here, Bianca. You know what? It's our passion, because it's a passion-driven business and I believe in people. So we'll definitely work with you in the future, and you'll be one direct phone call away from me to help you anytime with any advice. And good luck.
Thank you.
If you want to be part of the 48-hour experience, contact us on our social media page. And if you're interested in more careers, go to our YouTube page and get inspired.